Welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into a topic that each of us, at some point, has struggled with in our lives. In a world where reactions are often instantaneous and driven by strong emotions, we find ourselves faced with a difficult choice. When someone hurts you, do you choose to react with anger and resentment, or do you take a step back, allowing clarity and wisdom to guide your response? This is a question that touches the very core of our emotional and spiritual well-being. In our fast-paced, reactionary society, where every slight and offense can seem like an attack on our pride, it becomes increasingly difficult to practice patience and understanding. However, today we will explore a deeper perspective, one rooted in Buddhist wisdom and emotional intelligence, that can help us navigate the hurt and anger that inevitably rise in our interactions with others. A key teaching that we will explore today comes from the renowned Lama Zopa Rinpoche, who offered profound insights into the nature of anger and the wisdom of responding with clarity rather than with emotional reactivity. Lama Zopa Rinpoche's teachings remind us that when we respond to an offense with anger, we are not only harming the person who has hurt us, but we are also creating harm within ourselves. Anger, though it may feel like a natural response, only serves to entrench us further in the cycle of suffering. It distorts our perception, clouds our judgment, and ultimately keeps us trapped in negativity. But why does it feel so natural to respond with anger? The answer lies in our deeply ingrained attachment to self, and the belief that we deserve respect, fairness, and understanding from others. This attachment to our own image and identity creates a fragile ego, one that is easily bruised by criticism, insult, or disrespect. However, this fragile ego is exactly what causes us to react impulsively to hurtful situations, allowing anger to take hold and poison our minds. Lama Zopa Rinpoche emphasizes that in such moments of hurt, we must recognize that our anger is not a natural response, but a learned behavior. It arises from the attachment to our own ego and the belief that we are entitled to special treatment. This attachment is the root cause of our suffering, and if we do not learn to control it, we will continue to be buffeted by the winds of external circumstances. So, what is the alternative to reacting with anger? Lama Zopa Rinpoche teaches us to practice clarity, which is the ability to step back and observe our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Clarity allows us to see the situation as it is, without distortion. When we choose clarity over anger, we are able to separate ourselves from the emotional storm and recognize that the other person's actions are not a reflection of our worth. Instead, they are a result of their own confusion, suffering, and negative emotions. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful. It allows us to stop identifying with the hurt and instead view it as an opportunity for growth and healing. By recognizing that others' actions are driven by their own unresolved issues, we can develop empathy rather than anger. This empathy opens the door to forgiveness, which is not for the benefit of the other person, but for our own peace of mind. For example, let's consider a story shared by one of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's students. This student had been living in a close-knit community where tensions often ran high. One day, a friend made a hurtful comment that left this student feeling deeply offended. In the past, this student would have lashed out in anger, defending their honor and reacting impulsively. However, this time, they took a deep breath and reflected on the situation. They realized that their friend's words were a reflection of their own struggles and frustrations, not a personal attack. Rather than responding with anger, this student chose to respond with clarity and compassion. They approached their friend and expressed their feelings calmly, explaining how the comment had affected them. To their surprise, their friend apologized, admitting that they had been under stress and hadn't intended to hurt anyone. This moment of clarity allowed the student not only to avoid the harm of anger, but also to strengthen their relationship with their friend. This story highlights an important lesson. When we choose clarity over anger, we not only protect ourselves from further harm, but also open the door to deeper connection and understanding. The ability to respond with wisdom, rather than reacting out of pride or fear, is one of the most profound ways we can break free from the cycle of suffering. Another important aspect of responding with clarity is recognizing that we are not victims of the world around us. Too often, we feel helpless in the face of other people's behavior, believing that our happiness is dependent on how others treat us. But the truth is that our peace of mind is not determined by external circumstances. It is determined by our ability to cultivate inner peace and wisdom, which allows us to remain unshaken, regardless of what happens outside of us. This is where the practice of mindfulness becomes essential. By cultivating mindfulness in our daily lives, we become more aware of our thoughts and emotions as they arise. This awareness gives us the space to pause before reacting and to choose a more skillful response. Mindfulness helps us to separate ourselves from our emotions, allowing us to observe them without getting caught up in them. In Buddhism, the concept of right view is closely tied to this practice. Right view is the understanding that all phenomena, including our emotions, are impermanent and interconnected. When we see the world through the lens of right view, we understand that our anger is just another fleeting emotion, one that can be let go of with practice. By recognizing the impermanent nature of our emotions, we can release them before they take hold and cause harm. But even with mindfulness, it is natural for negative emotions to arise. What matters is how we respond to them. Instead of reacting immediately with anger or frustration, we can choose to sit with the emotion, acknowledge it, and let it pass. This practice of mindful awareness allows us to regain control over our emotional responses, rather than letting our emotions control us. In closing, responding to hurt with clarity instead of anger is a transformative practice that can greatly improve our emotional well-being and our relationships. By choosing to step back, observe our emotions, and recognize the deeper causes behind others' actions, we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering and begin to heal. Through mindfulness, empathy, and the cultivation of wisdom, we can respond with love and understanding, even in the face of harm. Thank you for watching this video. I hope today's discussion has provided you with valuable insights into how we can respond to others' actions with clarity and compassion. If you found this video helpful, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more spiritual and emotional wisdom. May all beings find peace and freedom from suffering.